So far in Chapter 3, we've discussed what to do with symmetric distributions. Now we want to begin to focus on distributions that are skewed. We've seen before that if the distribution we see is symmetric, we're going to use the mean as the measure of center. However, when we see a skewed data set, it's our preference to use the median. The median is considered the midpoint of the data when it's organized from small to large. And that's important, especially if you're going to do it by hand. It needs to be in order from the smallest number up to the largest number. You have roughly the same number of observations above and below the median. And recall that a measure of center refers to the typical value. If you had one number to pick to describe what's going on, that would be your center. And it can either be the mean or the median for numerical data. We pick the mean with skewed data because we pick the median with skewed data because the median is resistant to outliers. And when the distribution is skewed, either left or right, the median is a better choice than the mean. When the data that we have are skewed, the mean gets pulled into the tail and is no longer a good descriptor of what's typical. It's not around that clustering where a majority of your points are. We can visualize that with these two dot plots. It says when the data are skewed right, the mean is pulled upward into the tail and is no longer the preferred measure of center. So the median would be somewhere around 2 in this cluster of data. However, the mean may be a little bit higher at 3, and that's not where most of your values are. It's in that start of this tail in the skewed right graph. Same idea in this bottom dot plot. It will be skewed to the left because the tail is on the left-hand side. I would expect the median to be somewhere around here, around 21 or 22 in this clustering of dots. However, the mean might be somewhere around here where the tail is beginning. Something that'll be helpful to know for our upcoming test is that when the graph is skewed to the right, we expect the mean to be greater than the median. When the graph is skewed right, we expect the mean to be greater than the median. Note the mean here is about 3, the median is about 2, therefore the mean is greater than the median. On the other hand, when the graph is skewed to the left, we expect the mean to be less than the median. The mean here is about 19, the median is about 21. 19, the mean is less than 21 as the median. Next, we will look at how you can calculate the mean. And in this video, we'll focus on how to do that by hand. In the next video, you'll see where you can find it on the calculator. In order to calculate the median, first sort the data from smallest to largest. It has to be in order. If it's out of order and you're doing this by hand, you will get the incorrect median. If the set contains an odd number of observations, the median is that middle observed value. So if you have 13 data pieces or if you have 21 data pieces, you could split it so you've got one odd number in the middle and you've got an even amount of numbers on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. If the set contains an even number of observed values, which we're going to see in our example, The median is just the average of the two middle values. We'll calculate a median in example 1. It says, using the monthly premium for health insurance for 12 families in Georgia, calculate the median price of the data, compare it to the mean of the data set. We have 12 families here. I have an even number of observed values. I want to split this evenly in half. So since there are 12 pieces, I would split it 6 data pieces and 6 data pieces. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Split it in between these two 472s. Then I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 2 values in the middle. These 2 472s. So if I average those together, if I just add them together and divide by 2, that median will be 472 as well. So I would say, well, that's the typical price. That's how much an average Georgia family would pay for health insurance each month. To compare this to the mean, I'm going to enter this data into my calculator. A reminder, you hit the stat button, enter to edit, and we'll just enter these in. To find my mean, I hit the stat button again, I go over to calc, and I select 1 bar stats. And I can see that X bar, which is my mean, would be $490.50. Out of these two, the median is the better choice. This is what's closer to a typical value. 472 is right here in the middle of the data. 490 would be right up here. And not very many families pay that high of a cost. This data set is skewed to the right. These first 10 data pieces, the 460 to the 481, are very clustered together. They're close together. But then I see a large jump from 41 to 535 and from 535 to 648. So this would be skewed to the right. The mean is no longer the preferred choice for the measure of center. By the way, I'll just show you quickly. On your calculator, note there's this down arrow. If you scroll down with the down arrow, you'll see the median as well. The median is 472. And that will be the preferred method for this calculation. This data set that we happen to have was already in order to save some time. When you plug your data into the calculator, it doesn't matter if it's in order from smallest to largest or if it's just a random order, it will still calculate the median correctly.